good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And this is our first episode of Thrive Talk. And this show is all about Thrive International, and the scope in general is to just introduce you to something that's unique, different, and new in the market. And Thrive International is an online advertising and e-commerce crypto company. And we offer businesses and individuals the opportunity to advertise and sell their products and their services to a global Bitcoin community. So just to introduce myself, I'm the host, Willie Breed, and I've been in the industry for more than 20 years. A whole bunch of experience in businesses, up and rising businesses going down, and failures, but I don't see them as failures. I see them as my college in the industry and gaining experience so that I know what to look for in the industry. And my co-host here is Gerrit van der Merwe. Welcome, Gerrit. Just to give you an introduction about Gerrit and his experience, he is an IT professional he was an IT professional at Tyco International. Also had a lot of startup businesses, and his passion is actually to coach people about something new and unique in the market, and Bitcoin in specific, and of course cryptocurrency in general as well, because in general people are afraid of all these new things that come into the market, and it's a passion for Gerrit and it's a passion for me to help and coach people to know what they're getting themselves into. So Gerrit, if you like to take it away and give people a general indication of what we're going to talk about on Thrive Talk.
Excellent, thank you. Very excited to be here. Yes, if you just look at my own journey, I started a couple of startup businesses as an entrepreneur. You create the business, you build it up, it fails, and it's just the idea of failure. Or when a business is not succeeding, failure is not the opposite of success. So you don't have either success or failure. People that has really built big businesses will reiterate it over and over that failure is part of success. That is part of your journey, how you get to success. You've used a couple of big words, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. Those things excite me. Coming from IT environment, being in the IT industry, we've seen how technology has empowered those big corporates, those businesses, has made it possible to do business on a large scale. And then also from that background, it is easy for me to relate to new technologies, new concepts coming through, like your cryptocurrency, etc. Very, very excited things coming up. Just to give you an illustration, my son a couple of years ago, he had to do a oral at school. The teacher gave them a couple of topics, and being young and rebellious as the kids are, he picked the topic that says, your parents are incompetent. So he was going through this and he asked, Dad, which topic shall I take? I like this one. I said, brilliant, go for it. And basically the narrative was, it's not our parents are stupid. We built this whole conversation around the reality that, listen, the world is changing so fast. I mean, through IT in particular, but then also other technologies that came as a spin-off of that. We as human beings have now for the first time enabled ourselves through our technology to move so fast in terms of new developments, disruptive technologies coming through, that through our linear thinking, we cannot even keep pace with the world that we're changing around ourselves. That creates the realization that we are incompetent. We don't understand the world we're heading into. And if you look at career choices, have you heard of careers like drone operator?
No.
Now that's a new career that people can go and study. Not only that, if you look at a new trend, which is virtual reality, over the next 3 to 5 years, $120 billion is about to be spent
Yeah.
on people that can provide the technology or the services or the skills that is required in various areas, just in the virtual reality space. People don't know about these things even.
Yeah.
They don't even know about the movement towards virtual reality. How can you anticipate the career opportunities that are
Yeah,
there?
just think about the ability to log onto your phone, go in and do your shopping on your phone by walking into a mall, a virtual mall, and you can basically choose what you want to buy, and it's just a matter of either taking delivery or picking up. That's what we're talking about.
Exactly. I've just recently gone through a report of Richard Hamilton. He's looking into mega trends, pace setters. He's just released a report, the 10 mega trends that the world is going to change for 2017. And one of the things that he mentioned was exactly in the virtual reality space, but also now that you mentioned about the way that people are doing their shopping, we've moved away from where the people was buying content. So in other words, if you are an entrepreneur and you want to sell content onto the internet, that's old school.
Yeah.
We did it years ago, like 2-3 years ago.
Mhm.
It's old school. We moved on. So the people are not about content anymore. I mean, even virtual reality is now making it possible where people can go and attend concerts, sport events,
Yeah.
all in virtual reality.
Yeah.
So content you can buy. The music industry has changed drastically. Musicians no longer make their money by creating music and selling it online. That's old school. We used to do that years ago, like 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Mm.
We've moved on. Musicians are now making their revenue through concerts, physical events like that, because the music is for free. You can you just download it if you want to listen to the music.
Yeah.
So the musicians are not making their money through creating music anymore.
Yeah.
It's through concerts. That is about to shift again.
Yeah, and just talking about the movement from internet as we know it and going onto your PC to smartphones. I mean, that's a whole topic on its own, but
Exactly.
it's important to mention that because smartphones is the way forward. We will do every single thing that we possibly can on our smartphones. And that's what people need to realize. They have to open themselves up. If you just think about it, when cell phones came out, people were saying no,
Yes.
cell phones. And I mean, yet now people are walking around with even more than one, because they're simply doing all of their businesses, and people now have the ability to take their businesses globally by just having a smartphone and the connection.
Exactly. There's a couple of things, mega trendsetters or shifts taking place just around the smartphone industry. The first thing is that people must realize is that the computing power that you have on your cell phone is far greater than that which the US government had 15 years ago, 20 years ago. So in other words, a young kid standing in the Serengeti that's connected through the GSM network has more computing power in his hand than governments had a couple of years ago. He's got access to information that far exceeds the intel that governments had 20 years ago. But the shift that is taking place there as well is that for the first time now, I think during 2016, we've reached a point where mobile phones outnumber PCs, computers, traditional tablets and stuff like that. So there's a migration in the technology. But that spells two things. Number one, people in the first world, people that have embraced technology over the last couple of years are still entrenched in using computers and stuff like that. The numbers of mobile users that is being added to the equation come from a different sector of the community, which spells different business opportunities. So that is from a different component of the community where they've got different needs, they've got different aspirations, they've got different ideas.
Yeah, and if you just think about it, that opens up a whole new world on mobiles as well with regards to advertising.
Exactly.
You know, if you position yourself in advertising on a mobile phone, I mean, that's prime advertising space. And that's what Thrive International, that's where we're positioning ourselves as well, is to be the trendsetters in the market and pushing those barriers, because that's what it's all about. The companies that are stagnant and staying within whatever surroundings they are, they will stay there.
Yes,
and they will
absolutely.
probably become obsolete. But companies that are pushing those barriers are the companies that are going to move forward, and those are the companies that people want to align themselves with,
Precisely.
because that gives you an opportunity in that market to become part of that company and actually earn an income from that as well. And that's what we want to achieve. That's what people want. Is people want the opportunity to come or to change their financial situation that they're currently in, because let's face it, it's becoming more and more difficult to make ends meet, and you have to do something additional that's not going to have an effect on your job per se, something that you can do on the side that's not going to take a lot of time away, and it's not going to take a lot of effort away from you, but you can subsidize your income and help your family and the people that you know around you in that way to move forward.
If you just take one space like Fiverr as an example, but there are so many other opportunities. There are people like script writers. They go to their 8 to 5 job every day. They go and do their work, but then in the evening they are selling their skills and their expertise on the internet to a forever growing market. There are so many instances of people that's doing graphic design. So many skills are being offered on the internet, where people are selling themselves in a personal capacity, where they generate more income after hours, part-time, than during their full-time work. But just to give you an idea as well as to where things are moving, within the next couple of years, there's going to be another 2 billion odd people being added to this global village that we know as the internet. So if you think you had an idea or you are impressed by the amount of trade that's taking place on the internet, you've got no idea of what's coming. But not only that, if you look at the composition of that audience, we are accustomed that if you trade and you do commerce, you do it in English. The new market will have only about 11% of that community is capable of speaking English, is capable of trading in English. For the rest, they are speaking different languages. But that's not a barrier anymore. It's not an obstacle, because 2017, we will see a convergence of people interacting on the internet, where you've got these local pockets of conversation taking place in English, where technology is now enabling us to start to do conversation with everybody, where in the past you used to speak English to English, now you will speak everything to everything because of translators. So I can speak English, having a conversation with somebody in China who's not capable of speaking English, and we can have a full-on conversation due to the translators that are available in social media and through other areas. So in other words, not only does that open up the market for you, 2 billion people are also going to be added to this global village. Everything is about to change, and it's happening especially in the developing countries through mobile technology.
And let's just touch on the topic of cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin specifically, and the ability for somebody somewhere in a rural area to now suddenly become part of the global economy, if you want to say that.
Yes.
I mean, that's also a big intricate part of this.
Yes, absolutely. Because apart from getting connected to the rest of the global or the digital village, people are excluded economically for simple things, especially people in the developing countries, in the rural areas. They cannot open bank accounts with your traditional banking system, for the simple reason that he cannot prove that he was born. I mean, he doesn't have proof of residence. So now he's excluded from the traditional economy, but it's no longer a problem. The irony of it all is, the last year or so, I spent a lot of time doing cryptocurrency lessons, teaching people how to or introducing them to Bitcoin and how to use Bitcoin, but not on a high level. My idea was not to make or to create crypto programmers. It was merely an introduction to an alternative to the traditional banking system, and how that will enable you to now join the global economy. It's simply a matter of, if you can work a computer, if you can create a Google email account for yourself, you can then go and open up a blockchain wallet. And there are various wallets to choose from depending on what you want to do. You pick your wallet and you're in the economy. You can now begin to trade. Now I can.
And that's an easy process.
It is so easy.
You can do it within minutes.
It is so easy. It's unreal. That's why I think the ease of it sometimes is an obstacle or a barrier for people to get into it as well, because they expect it to be this complex thing. If you can open up, or if you can create an email address, you can open up a Bitcoin wallet for yourself. The level of complexity is the same. If you can send somebody a text message, you can send somebody Bitcoin. Now an artist in a third world country, or somebody that has a service to sell, can sell it anywhere in the world, to somebody in China, to somebody in India, and at the press of a button he can receive payment almost instantaneously. It's with the same ease as receiving an email. And there's no barriers.
Yes, and that's where Thrive International actually position themselves as well, because we open up this Bitcoin community globally for entrepreneurs and individuals to have access to this global Bitcoin community. And now they've got a possibility of expanding their businesses globally. And that makes a huge difference. That makes a huge difference, not just on a global scale, but just imagine what difference it's going to make to that person's small economy within his own community.
Absolutely, because now you're bringing in external revenue into this community, and they're no longer limited to the commerce that can take place within their geographical area. And I think the magic, something that, I mean, we can't even begin to fathom the scale of all of this, is if you bring in all these new ideas. I mean, in the previous conversation we spoke about the perception I had as a youngster that there's a finite amount of songs that is possible. There's only so many songs that can be created, and as time is going on and you hear all the different music, you become anxious to say, okay, but somewhere along the line we must now run out of possibilities. It must become, we must reach the end now of this limited pool of options. But it's exactly the opposite that is true. The more people you connect, the more new ideas are coming about. The more new ideas brings about new breakthrough technologies. And we're sitting in a limited environment in terms of the people we expose that to, and how many translations is there for that technology to be implemented. Bring another 2 billion people to the conversation. Man, it's an unprecedented scale of possibilities, new technologies, new opportunities that's coming about. And somebody talked about it once. He talked about it as the sex of ideas, where we as human beings have now interconnect ourselves, where we almost take on the attributes of a living organism. The human species is almost starting to demonstrate the attributes of a single organism in itself, because of the collaboration that is taking place on a global scale. And it's taking place over geographical boundaries, it's taking place over language barriers, it's taking place over political and religious boundaries, to the point where you start to wonder if governments will be relevant anymore in 10 years' time from now, because of this conversation. that is taking place. So ideas are coming together, and those ideas are taking on a life form of their own.
Yes.
Where the originator of the idea has no control over what is about to happen to that idea. Once it's out there in this global conversation.
Yes.
So the possibilities, it's massive. But if you look at the shift of e-commerce as well, is shifting from where we used to sell content
Yeah.
to where we're now selling experiences.
Yes.
Take the coffee industry. The industrial age gave us instant coffee. The new generation, the millennial generation, says no to instant coffee because it doesn't appeal to their frame of mind.
Yeah.
They moving back to the experience of coffee.
Of coffee. Yeah.
And the same is going to happen in all the other traditional areas.
Yeah.
Where the new generation, the new demand is no longer for, listen, just punt out content as cheaply as possible at the highest volumes possible. They're moving back to individual small experiences.
Yeah.
I don't just want to be entertained by music at large.
Yeah.
I want to experience the music created by that guy in the Amazon.
Yeah.
So he couldn't sell his music to his next door neighbor.
And that's where we're talking about companies like Amazon, and we're talking about companies like Alibaba and companies like that actually broken those barriers that we were talking about and showing people what's actually possible within a market.
Yes.
And you know, more and more people want to get involved in that. And that's also where Thrive International is going to position themselves, is within that market. And I think it's important for people to grasp the possibilities. But with most of those companies, you didn't have the opportunity to be part of the profit share.
Exactly.
You didn't have the opportunity to be part of all of that growth, because it was individuals that started those companies with their friends and their CEOs and their boards and whatever the case might be. And now companies are coming on board like Thrive International that actually give individuals the opportunity to become a player in that market. And that's what's so exciting, and that's where we're going with this. So I think we've touched on a lot of topics today, you know, and
Yes.
I think we can carry on for hours and hours and
Absolutely.
hours. And we'll definitely carry on for hours and hours in different episodes going forward. And you know, we really would want to open up this whole new world to people and make them understand that they have to take those, what we call, blinkers off.
Absolutely. Yes.
And just open their minds to the possibilities out there. So Gerard, I just want to say thank you again. All of the knowledge that you bring in, I think people will appreciate that, and we'll see a lot more of you in the episodes to come. I just also want to share with you that we will be bringing in other guests and experts in the industry and so on, and make you understand what's out there, and that you could be part of this industry, and you could be part of this and change your lives financially as well. So thank you very much for joining us today, and we will be sharing our information. Our telephone numbers will be at the bottom, and you are more than welcome to contact us. And then of course our website as well is www.thriveint.com. Go and look at that website and see what it's all about, and that you can become part of that. So that's all for our first episode of Thrive Talk, and I'm super excited to see where we're going with this.
Yes.
And just sharing the knowledge with everybody out there. So thank you very much, Gerard, once again, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thank you. Bye.